Hey guys, it's Bridget with San Diego Seed Company, and I'm so happy to be back in the garden after spending more than 3 weeks away. I am back and so happy to have my garden to help me through this really sad time. For those of you who know, you know, but we are going to be spending this spring in the garden to heal, as I like to encourage a lot of people to do. So let's check out my garden in February. I'm going to tell you what's growing, why we did some things the way we did, and just get a sense of what a San Diego garden looks like in February. Now, before I do that, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so that anytime we put out a video, you can be notified. So let's jump into it. So garden is looking surprisingly amazing, even though I've been gone for 3 weeks. And that's in part to our amazing farmhands who kept this operation up and running while I was away. Here's my farmhands now. Now, it's not just the work of the help that we get on the farm, but it's also because we have really amazing soil. The better soil you have, the more you can be a little more lenient and, you know, leave for a week or two or maybe even 3, and things will continue to run. The other part of it is our irrigation. Since we live in a dry climate, I had to run the irrigation the whole time I was gone. Now, the beautiful thing about when you have irrigation on the farm is things continue to grow. So I've got cabbages that need to get pulled. You can see that this cabbage actually, the reason why it's splitting is it's trying to put its seed head up and actually go to flower. So this is actually chicken food done now. It's completely done. It needs to be chopped and thrown into the chicken coop. But other stuff is flowering and it looks amazing. So this is cilantro that is going to flower. And this is going to happen every single year if you plant cilantro in the fall and grow it through the winter, because this is a reaction to the days getting longer and the sun getting higher in the horizon. That is a signal to the plant, hey, spring is coming, go to flower. And I actually love cilantro blooms. First of all, they smell delicious. They make me want salsa immediately. And they're a really good filler for bouquets. Obviously, we're gonna let this whole area go to seed. It'll go to flower and then it'll go to seed, which is what we put in our packets. We have more of the seed production in the back part of the property. But it's just gorgeous. Even if you don't plan on saving the seeds, go ahead and let it flower because the pollinators and the butterflies love it. Cilantro seed is actually coriander, the herb, which we use in cooking all the time. So it's really an amazing plant. You get cilantro to eat, flowers, look at the bee, look at that guy. You get plants for the pollinators, and then you get another herb, coriander. So we grow it every single year, really love it. Uh-oh, look at this. So Moana just alerted me to something here. You can see this guy. See how it's leaning? And then you see this here, this nice, fresh little mound. You know what that tells me? It tells me that there's a gopher. And I can tell because my plant is leaning because the roots underneath have probably been eaten. And then you can see this fresh little mound of soil. So I'm gonna have to either set a gopher trap, or sometimes I'll just let my cat catch the gopher. She's really good at it. So we got lots of stuff growing in the garden. We are ending our cool season garden and heading into spring. This is the last of our broccoli. You can see that actually this is a black magic kale, and you can see that it's getting some aphids. I need to wash that off with a hose of water. These crops are going towards the end of their life, and so I know that I've gotten so much out of them, and if I spray this with a jet of water a couple times and it persists, if it continues to be an issue, I'm just gonna pull the plant because we're going into the summertime. You can see here, look at these mangoes. So every year we get like 7 or 8 mangoes that are ginormous. I mean, look at this thing. It's so big that I had to put a box underneath it because these mangoes were basically just sitting on the ground. So this is how you know that we're growing in zone 10, because we're growing mangoes in February. That's pretty insane. This is a variety, we believe it's a keep variety, one of the best mango varieties I've ever tasted. It's not stringy and fibrous, it doesn't get stuck in your teeth. So those are, we only get like 8, so I share with just a few special people. So let's keep running through the garden. So we have our beautiful sweet peas. Look at these gorgeous babies. So these are our Point Loma pops, and we grow this variety every single year. Now, we just did a video on sweet peas actually at our videographer's house, and His did not look like this. No offense, Jeff, just saying. And that's because I planted these in September of this last fall. So they were able to overwinter all winter, grow really robust root systems. And now we get blooms very early in the season because they've had a long period of time to grow. As soon as the days get longer, sun gets higher in the horizon, you start seeing the blooms pop, and we'll have blooms probably well until maybe April. And then we will let these continue on to seed production, harvest the seed, and those go into packets. But it's pretty amazing because you can smell these from the back patio, especially when we get a warm day and it warms up the oils in the flour. Ah, so good. So sweet peas are looking good. We also have this very messy yet productive area. So this is all Ethiopian kale that is going to seed. We are allowing these plants to go to seed. They've been very happy, and Ethiopian kale is one of our favorite greens to grow in warm, hot climates because it grows so easy. And so you can see, if you look up here, you'll see lots of bees that are all over the flowers. And we're just gonna let these continue to grow, and we'll get seed pods mid to late spring, and then we won't actually harvest the seed until late summer. So this patch has a long way to go. So we are in the second part of the garden here, and I just want to show you guys this massive borage plant. I've never seen anything so big in my life. It's taking up 1, 2, 3 rows of the garden, and obviously there's bees all over it. Pollinators love it. And so I'm just gonna let it be for now, even though it's totally taking over our last little patch of broccoli and cauliflower in the garden. But it's so happy, and it's really feeding all the bees. You can see, oh, he ran away, but you can see that's a really happy plant. This makes for a great pollinator plant, almost like a cover crop. What I'll do when I'm ready to plant tomatoes here is I'll rip this out and throw it in the compost, and it's gonna feed the compost really well because it's a massive amount of greens, basically. It's a lot of material to go into the compost, which I'm really excited about. And now it is obviously in the way. We've got our trellises, which I'm so excited about. Our tomatoes are already about 1 foot tall, and I cannot wait to get them in the ground so that we can trellis them up and do our low and lean method for seed production this year. But until then, I'll let this plant just enjoy itself. It's really happy and it's not hurting anything. We have the tail end. This is the last round of succession planting we did for cauliflower. And if you've seen our other succession planting videos, you know that we talked about planting broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower several times during the fall and the winter so that you continuously have crops. We just pulled out the last of the broccoli, and now in a couple weeks we will have the last of our cauliflower, which is going to be pretty much perfect timing because in a couple weeks I will be ready to put in our tomatoes. Okay, so for those of you who know me know that I love garlic. I mean, I literally can eat garlic like by the bulbs. It's so delicious. So this year we planted elephant garlic. One of the reasons why I love elephant garlic is because it's very easy to peel and it's very big bulbs and it's a pretty mild flavor. So we planted it here in the garden. It has sprouted very nicely. We have straw that we've put on top. That's to help hold in the moisture. Garlic can't dry out. You really want to make sure that the soil is moist if you want to produce good sized bulbs. Also kind of helps with the weeds. Just in general, keeps the area a little bit neater. Obviously, I need to do a little more weeding here, but for those of you who saw the video of us planting this, we planted it, I'll have to check the date on the tag, but we planted it sometime back and now they have really sprouted and they're looking good, and we'll harvest these probably midsummer is when these guys will be done. And we have more of this on the property, so let's see. We planted this November 24th. Okay, so we're in the back little patch of the garden. This is the newest part of our garden that we have developed, and it looks amazing. Again, I want to reiterate that's because we've done a lot of work to improve the soil. And the other part of the reason why this area looks so good is this row cover. So we actually planted a lot of these crops. Let's see if I can So we planted these in November, so about the same time we did the garlic. And you'll see we have these beautifully colored red fava beans, which are a new product that we are growing and hopefully we'll have in our catalogs in the coming seasons. We've got lettuce, we've got onions, we have more cilantro, and then we have a huge patch of dill. And the reason why these crops look so good is the row cover. We planted it in November, so it was still pretty hot in San Diego County, but the row cover held in moisture, kept insects off the plants, just basically protected them, and also kept them from getting too cold when our nighttime lows really dropped. Now we can pull the row cover off and just really let them thrive, and you can see every inch of this area is packed with plants that are really happy. You don't see a lot of weeds, and that's because the crops themselves have really outcompeted the weeds. There's really no room for weeds to grow, which is a benefit of, planting really closely together like that. And so this area makes me very happy because it's just so orderly and perfect looking. So this area makes me so happy because it's so orderly and just it looks really good. Now keep in mind, in the over a decade that I've been gardening and farming, things rarely look like this. This is just a really good example. It happened to work out. Everything in the universe came together to make this area look really good. And if your garden doesn't look like this, it is a-okay. You have to remember that gardening or any type of growing is a journey. It is not a destination. It takes some time to get there. And sometimes you hit the jackpot. Sometimes even I still have total, complete failures. It is a-okay. We are out here to enjoy our time in nature and look at the beautiful crops. And so this is just an example of one time where I got really lucky. Okay guys, so that's what my garden looks like in February. Keep in mind, this is just one example of any way that your garden can look, but we're really proud of it. It looks really good, and we're so excited to head into spring with our right foot forward. And we hope that you follow us and check out all of our videos we have so we can help you be the best grower possible.